If you've ever opened a virus on your PC, then you know what's coming next. It's the fellas.
I like this one. It's got some Latin flavor.
Yeah, I like this one too.
Not too bad. It's very laid back. I guess kind of works for this particular movie. Yeah,
Very quirky, yeah.
Where did you find this movie? Oh, by the way, this is the fellas. Antoine Ray, computer guy. Yeah, I'm gonna call him 36189.
Oh,
computer guy. It's gonna end up wiping out humanity.
Oh shit.
No, we saw
Downsizing with Matt Damon.
Didn't ask you for the whole voice actor repertoire there, but whatever. It's a little something nice. Downsizing. Yeah, pretty decent.
Yeah.
Matt Damon's pretty much found his niche as playing someone who's something of a has-been. I don't know what to say about that. I'm not trying to say nothing bad about Matt Damon, but he plays the washed-up guy pretty goddamn well.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah, he does.
It's come a long way from Good Will Hunting. I'll give you that.
I mean, the last movie that I really liked with him was the Mars movie.
The Martian. Yeah, he was
That was pretty good.
That was good.
That was also, as long as he's not being over the top.
Yeah.
He can play a desperate man very well. He can definitely do that.
Well, he played also in that movie, Team America too, right?
No, not really. That was mocking him.
Oh, I thought he was him for real.
No, they pretended that he was a mentally slow mongoloid in that movie. Pretty good job, though. But no. Downsizing is about a bunch of hippies convince people to shrink themselves down to like 0.001% of their
5
size.
inches.
Yeah, they're like 5 inches. They shrink them down real small. Like, oh, we can save the earth by having people this small, which is a ginormous crock of bullshit.
You know, they're G.I Joe size. Well, a little bit bigger than G.I Joe's.
Smaller.
No, 5 inches. G.I Joe's are
you talking about the original G.I. Joes or the 80s G.I. Joes?
80s
Are we talking about
G.I.
the real G.I.
No,
Joes?
they're
or the
taller.
real G.I. Joe?
They're taller than the 80s G.I. Joes.
Damn, imagine that.
They're slightly smaller than like the 60s G.I. Joes.
Oh, okay.
But no, they shrink themselves down. They're like, yeah, you can just get all your shit and we'll have smaller versions of your shit and it'll barely cost anything. And basically the key players, they keep it pretty small, which is great. Key players, you have Matt Damon playing as the main character, Paul Safranek, and he's with his wife, Audrey Safranek, played by Kristen Wiig. And Kristen Wiig has started looking rough, man.
Yeah,
she ain't ugly, but it's like, damn, dude, Kristen Wiig, I remember her being fucking hot.
Yeah, she was on the Bangables list.
Oh, absolutely. It's like, man, she is just fucking tired.
Yeah,
she looked pretty goddamn tired.
It's probably all those years on Saturday Night Live.
Oh, Saturday Night Live will age anyone. But anyway, he and his wife decide to miniaturize themselves because in today's economy, in today's world, it's like Matt Damon, he was going to med school, but he dropped out of med school to take care of his mom because she was sick. When his mom died, he hooked up with Kristen Wiig, and times are tough as it is right now. You know, property values are nuts. They're still living in his mom's house, even though she's dead, and they want so badly to move into a better place, but there's nothing they could actually afford. And a friend of theirs was like, hey, why don't you miniaturize yourself? You can live the lap of luxury if you miniaturize yourself. They end up doing it. You know, I mean, I'd be like, fuck that. I'd never fucking do it. But they end up miniaturizing themselves, and shortly after, well, not even shortly, I'll say immediately after Matt Damon wakes up from being miniaturized.
Yeah.
And this is irreversible, by the way. His wife calls and is like, yeah, I was thinking about it and I couldn't go through with it. And he's like, you fucking shitting me.
Yeah.
I miniaturized myself by myself.
Oh.
So his wife basically left him, and that kind of fucked all of his shit up because they were going to liquidate all their assets, and by liquidating all their assets, the amount of money they had, putting it towards them being miniaturized was the equivalent of like $15 million or some shit like that.
Yeah, it's 12.5, I think.
Right, but the problem is, because his wife left him, they can't divvy up their assets until the actual divorce.
I'm pretty sure she took more than half.
Yeah, she did.
I think she took
because the guy was like, you really should have taken our first offer. It's like, you know, so he got fucked.
Yeah.
He really got fucked, and he ended up having a menial job that was slightly worse than the menial job that he already had. So it's like, yeah, nothing fucking changed. So he was the same miserable, sad sack of shit. But he ends up meeting a woman who has things way worse than he has.
Yeah.
But she's still able to be happy and thrive because she used to have something way worse than even that. It's basically a movie about perspectives, which I guess is like a play on words, because his perspective was never properly changed changed until he was miniaturized.
Yeah.
And now he sees that, you know what? Life is a lot more than the big picture.
Yeah.
You have to look at it a little piece at a time, and then you can actually start to value life. It's a pretty traditional, traditional thing, a traditional way of looking at things, you know. And the chick he meets up with is Hong Chow. She plays Nak Lan Tran, who's was she from North Korea? Where's she from in the movie?
Vietnam in
She's
the
from
movie.
Vietnam.
Yeah, she because she's a dissident, because she protested against the government, they forcefully miniaturized her, and then she escaped from the government by hiding out in like a Samsung TV box.
Yeah,
and going over to America, and she was like the only survivor. But even then, she had to have like her leg amputated or some shit like that, and she ended up living in the same community he was in. But what he didn't realize is that, yeah, he was supposed to have all this opulence and wealth, but he lost his money. So now he's like living in a one-bedroom apartment in this little community, and he thinks his life is shit. Then he finds her and he's like, wait a minute, what about the people that do all the shit jobs? Well, apparently, just like in the real world, people who do all the shit jobs are like illegal immigrants and just people who just can't do any better, and you ignore them because you're part of the privilege. This woman's no different. It's like it followed him here. This is not Eden. Yeah. All that dirty shit about the normal world.
Someone's got to do it.
Yeah, it follows you right here.
It's going to follow you through. And what we see in the movie, it's just really, really like a third world country happening behind the closed door.
It's kind of like if you're a middle class person in the real world, you downsize, you become upper high class in the downsized world.
But lower class people in, say, Mexico would still be lower class people in that downsized world, but even that would be comeuppance.
Yeah.
A huge comeuppance. One iPad, everyone gets to watch movies on a big screen every night. So it's all good.
That is actually pretty awesome.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of pretty awesome.
I know, man.
I mean,
you don't want that.
I wouldn't shrink myself down. You know, when I was watching this movie, there was one theme going over on and on in my head, and it was Robotech. It was like the human,
got that proto-culture going on.
Yeah, got the proto-culture going on.
We will win.
You know, that's the Sandrati human scale. You know, so
to begin with, someone saying, "Hey, we'll solve all our problems by shrinking down," I could have immediately told you that's a fucking horrible idea.
Yeah,
we would be conquered
by
not just by the animals, by the flora and the fauna.
Yeah,
we would be conquered by that because it will be unmanageable. It'll be a fucking mess. That's like right on the face of it. That's the stupidest fucking thing I've ever heard.
I mean, imagine the
also
ants.
There's a lot of hippie dippy bullshit in this. I mean, the whole reason they do it is because the earth is being overpopulated and this and that and whatever. And I'm gonna let you guys in on a little secret, all of our listeners. Based on the technology that we have, we're not close to being overpopulated.
Yeah.
The thing is, the technology is constantly being held back by people in first world countries who are used to a certain level of luxury, which gives them the benefit of being able to poo-poo other shit like genetically modified food. Oh, I can take some seeds, by genetically modifying it, I can grow 1 million fucking apples. I can feed the entire world. No, because genetically modified food is bad. Sorry, starving kids in Africa.
Yeah.
I don't want to eat something that may be bad for me, so you can all go fuck yourselves.
But that's pretty much what it is.
That's exactly what it is. We're nowhere near breaking the earth from overpopulation. If we really wanted to, no. You build up instead of out. We'd be fine.
I heard one stat. I heard one stat before where you can line up every single person in the world on the island of Maui, standing shoulder to shoulder.
No, I heard the same thing, but it was Texas.
Was it
every person on the planet? No, it wasn't even shoulder to shoulder. No, we can make apartments, and we're stacking them up.
Yeah.
The hotels would probably be about the height of the World Trade Center, but we could still make it so that it's ecologically viable, and we could put every single person on the planet within the state of Texas.
Okay.
And with a decent sized place, nothing huge, something the size of like a master bedroom would be able to house like 4. Father, mother, son, daughter, 4 people within something the size of a master bedroom, and have a kitchen in there and all that. And each person would have a room, and there'd be like these big apartment blocks, and they go up about the height of the World Trade Center. It's like, everyone could fit in Texas. And they even equated the amount of room necessary for farms and aquifers and all that shit. And they're like, we'd all fit there.
Oh my god, it's kind of Mega City 1.
It's just the fact that you have such places that are not industrialized. They're just people fucking starving and famine and shit. And they're like, oh, the problem is there's too many people. No, the problem is they have no fucking technology. It's a fucking third world nation.
Yeah.
That's the fucking problem. If they have all the technology that the U.S. has, or China, they'd be fucking fine.
They'll be cleaning up everything.
They'd be fucking fine. They'd be blowing up.
What were you going to say, Dane?
The problem with this movie, they have this technology that it shrinks everything that is organic. Okay? But they can't bring it back.
Yeah.
They can't bring it back. And like Anton was saying, there's a big problem when it comes to that, because if humans become that size, then the flora and the fauna become more deadlier. The environment becomes more deadlier, you know?
And the biggest problem is, if all the humans were that size, their manpower to harvest what they need to feed themselves it's equivalent to the manpower of our size. Oh, well, you can have one apple to feed 50 people. I'm like, yeah, but it would still take 5 people to harvest that one apple.
Yeah.
Instead of having one adult-sized person harvest that apple and slice it up in a way it could feed 1 million fucking people.
Yeah.
So,
if everybody's small, it's the same thing.
At this point, we're guessing right now, because, you know, in the movie, everything, even the trees and stuff, shrink down. We wonder, because they eat. You know, you wonder, like, how do they eat? Like, I'm assuming that they get the real organic food. And I don't think they grow tomatoes that size.
Yeah.
I don't think they grow tomatoes
unless they genetically modify it, but whatever. It looks like
something like that. I don't know.
Well, anyway, besides, you know, the philosophical issues, the main plot of the movie is when his wife leaves him, he's leaving a humdrum life, and he sees on the news there's this Vietnamese woman who was smuggled over in a TV box, and this and that, she lost her leg. And he's like, that's interesting. Wow, I can't believe that. And then he eventually goes on a bender at his neighbor's place. His neighbor, was that Christoph Waltz? His neighbor was
Christoph Waltz.
Okay, so his neighbor's like, I make a fortune. All I do is my brother's large, I'm small, and he sets up ways to get all this shit that big people like to small people. Things the company doesn't think about getting. I have all these ways of bringing in here, and we just set it up and make a fucking fortune. And the guy's like, oh yeah, that's smart, right? That's whatever. And he kind of shows him like, look, dude, this is a new beginning, and you're not treating it like that, because Matt Damon's character is fixated on what he lost.
Yeah.
So when he goes in a bender at this guy's apartment, wakes up one day, and he sees this one Asian woman like hobbling a little bit, because they're the cleaning staff. And it just never occurred to him, because he's never seen the cleaning staff, because he has a shitty, cheap place. He can afford a cleaning staff. So he goes into one room and sees this one Asian woman, played by Hong Chow, and it just so happens she's the same woman that like lost her leg, and she came from Vietnam, and she was a political dissident. They tried to kill her, yada yada yada, and she's stealing pills. And he's like, hey, what are you doing? She said, no. The guy says it's okay. He says, I can take the pills. Look, I have a friend who's sick. She needs the pills.
Yeah.
And because of his medical degree, he's like, oh yeah, based on the way you're walking, you're gonna get arthritis and this and that, and let me take a look at that. She says, look, do me a favor, come to my place, take a look at my friend, and I'll let you take a look at me.
Yeah.
So he goes there, and he goes beyond the poverty line. Apparently there's a hole bored into the wall to get into this place, and there's a whole bunch of illegal immigrants.
Yeah, it looked a little ridiculous that they made
the whole idea is that I'm wondering why the bus drove them there, because the bus would be like, this place is not on the route. This is not supposed to be here, but whatever.
It's past the wall, man.
I guess they just let them do it because they need migrant workers. So, more lefty bullshit.
Yeah.
But anyways, people who were illegally shrunk down in Mexico and shit like that. Wasn't there a story about one person was shrunk down, but his head exploded because they didn't take out his gold tooth?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it blew up his entire head.
Roommate this Vietnamese girl had, the lady was dying of stomach cancer, and she was describing that her husband's head exploded because they forgot to remove the
his gold filling. Yeah. So he shrunk down
hilarious.
His filling state to normal size, and it blew up his goddamn head. So it's like, man, that sucks. So when he goes there, he's like, man, these people have it really fucking bad. So he comes back and he helps him out a little bit, and he's supposed to fix her prosthetic leg, and he fucks it up.
He breaks it, yeah.
So because he's a simp and he's so guilt-ridden, he goes along with her at her job to do her job because she just like has a peg leg now until he can get the new prosthetic. And that's when he kind of realizes how bad she has it and how she's pretty much living off of the handouts
of all these
wealthy people. It's the same shit that you had in the big world.
Yeah.
It just followed them. Now the people who are middle class are now upper class, and because they're upper class, they've become the same upper class douchebags that were in the big world. It's the same shit all over again.
Yeah.
Like, oh yeah, here's some food I was gonna throw out. You can take it. You know, Cheesecake Factory. Yeah, this is some food. It's past its prime. We can't use it, but here you can take it. You can give it to the people. Whatever. It's still good to eat. All that shit. And you think, okay, man, she's got all this food. She's good to go. She can live high on the hog. She takes all the food back home and she's giving it out to people.
Yeah,
and
people that are like sick.
Importantly, she's asking them, how is your lungs? How is your chest? How you're doing? This and that and whatever. We just offer the guy right up. Oh yeah, he's a doctor. He'll look at you. I was like, the fuck? No, man, I'm not that kind of a doctor. I don't do that shit. No, yeah, he's a doctor. He'll look at you. And because he's a nice guy, he just kind of, he doesn't want to say no, so he's looking at people and shit, and he's doing their job for her. So, the freaking guy, I just realized how fucking short this movie is. This movie is really short and to the point.
Yeah.
So,
it was short.
His neighbor, who he made a friend
Deshaun,
Yeah, Deshaun. He's like, look, man, I gotta go to the Netherlands or whatever, the place where the founder is. If you don't want to do this shit for a while, you can go with me. He says, oh, great, cool. So he tells, like, look, man, I have to go with this guy to the Netherlands, to the founder. She says, oh, great, I can go with you. It's my chance to go. He's like, no, it's just me. I was invited. He's like, no, the founder wrote to me. When he heard about what happened, he was sad and crying and shit, and he wrote to me, and, praise God, finally I have a chance to go see him. And it's like, oh, fuck. How are you going to say no to that?
It was a touching moment, actually.
It was very touching. You can't say no to that.
The sad thing is that, you could shrink people and then feed them to dogs. And
I didn't hear anything about that in the movie, but you have some sick mind in there going on.
I mean,
I was thinking about the birds, pick you and shit.
Yeah, you're thinking you'll be walking down the street and a fucking bald eagle will come and snatch your ass away.
That's nature, bro. That's beautiful.
That's where they have tarps in that place here. So anyway, they go and they see the grand founder who made the whole thing. What's his name? Conrad? Dr. Jorgen?
Yeah, Dr.
Okay, so it's Rolf Lasgard. It's interesting. They got an actual Norwegian to play it.
Yeah, it's pretty nice.
So they go there, and he's happy to see them, but he's distraught because apparently, and get ready for this shit, the polar ice caps, when they melt, because unlike in this world, global warming is a thing, our polar ice caps are getting colder and colder, but in this movie, they're just constantly melting. And the polar ice caps have methane.
How does that happen?
I don't know.
I'm sure it has something to do with man.
I be honest with you, I never heard of that. Off the movie, I never heard of it.
I'm sure
I've seen,
it's man-made
polar caps, breaking apart, things like that. But I never heard like, oh, they're melting and they are producing methane gas.
You know why? They're producing methane? Because certain people had to have a car. Ray,
what?
It's because you bought a car.
Man, freaking cows.
That's your fucking fault.
They freaking fart methane all the time.
Yeah.
This ain't about the fucking cows, man. This ain't about a couple of months ago. It was cold, and you fucking turned up the heater in your house.
You're
elitist cocksucker. This is your fault. It's because you did that. The ice is releasing methane now.
How is that possible?
Yeah, I don't get that in the movie.
It's like, consensus, Ray.
Really
I agree, and Dane agrees.
Wouldn't that make
that
the air
makes
ignitable?
It consensus?
Wouldn't that make the air
ignitable? Are you a scientist?
No.
Why don't you shut the fuck up then? I agree.
No, I'm serious. I really
agree,
don't know.
and Dane agrees. That makes it a consensus. If it's a consensus, it's true.
No, we can't say it like that. I don't agree with it because I never heard of that.
A consensus of scientists say that global warming is man-made, and if a consensus say it, it must be true.
But this is where the movie got a little ham-fisted and like thick. The air got way too thick. The scene went on for like 20 minutes.
Yeah, way too long.
You can edit this out, but no, they wanted to have this message like throughout the entire movie, and it was just like, okay, whatever. The world's gonna burn in hell.
So here's the thing. You're like, yeah, we're gonna take all the humans that are here. We made a gigantic tunnel that has everything we could possibly need. Farms, all that shit. Humans will survive being miniature. And he's like, yeah, I have to go with him. This is my purpose. I have to help humanity survive. Hong Chao's like, no, fuck that. We had sex. I think was it a love fuck or no? He's like, what?
Was it a mercy fuck?
A mercy fuck?
Was it a hate fuck?
A pity fuck? A pity fuck? A friend fuck? a friend fuck? A hookup fuck?
A
He's
buddy
like,
fuck?
what? No. What are you talking about? But no, they like had sex, and she basically wanted him to stay, and he was like, yeah, but this is the fate of humanity. And she's like, you're gonna die before they come out, all right? All you could possibly be is some sperm. You can donate that and just walk the fuck off.
Yeah, that's true.
But you're not experiencing life. There's people who can't go down in the tunnels who would actually need your help. And eventually he chooses, I'm not going to go in the tunnels. I'm going to stay out here. I now know what I want. I love you. Play the violins, blah, blah, blah. Kiss in the rain, all that dumb shit. And they go back. One of the simplest and most poignant scenes I've ever seen. He goes back to deliver food to one of the people she delivers it to. And he brings her food. Hey, how are you? How's your chest? Is it good? Oh, yeah. Thanks. And before he goes, he stops and turns to him. And they show a full scene of the guy you never notice. He's in a wheelchair. And he never noticed that before because he never stopped to take in the world around him. This guy is in a wheelchair.
Yeah.
Yeah, like why would you miniaturize yourself if you can't walk?
Yeah.
You know, it just never occurred to him, hey, take a good look at this guy and really think about it. So it's like, you know what? It's not the large world and the miniature world. It's just the world. And I can make the world a better place if I choose to do so.
That was a great camera shot scene.
Oh, it was. It was very powerful. Didn't expect it. And then I'm like, okay, now they're going to show 5 years later, 10 years later, you know, the world's really fine. Nope. Roll credits. We're done.
Yeah.
I was like, God damn. I wasn't too upset. I mean, I was kind of disappointed, but I'm like, okay, they got the message out. It's done. I'm not going to bitch too much.
I'll be honest with you, there were two messages in here. One that you were already talking about, this hippie global warming message. But the other message was a little more important. The other message was about you have to be responsible. And that's what he became. He started becoming more responsible to see for his future. Doesn't matter what he was doing. He was fixated on his past. From the divorce that he had to the condition that he was at now, and that he was living in a one-bedroom apartment, you know, but he was frustrated for his past.
I think it's because to have some meaning in his life. Now, would you actually shrink yourself down?
No.
No?
Nope.
I wouldn't do it, even though I don't have a body.
Shit, man.
I mean, yeah, you shrink yourself down, your money goes a longer way, but you're not the master of your domain anymore.
Right.
You're, to me, the lowest on the evolutionary scale now.
You see Ray's dog right now walking around?
Yeah.
That dog would tear the shit out of you if you're 5 inches.
He would. But
you think he would listen to you?
Do you think in that place they would have had a strip bar or two?
No. Not unless someone was like, yeah, I want to make one. But even then,
bring a bunch of strippers.
I don't think they would have let them because that would have fucked up the ecosystem because people would have been spending too much of their money on that shit. Remember, you're spending your money on tangible value. Oh, this giant bottle of vodka, this can last me for 50 years, only costs $30. But that lap dance, that chick's still going to want $30. You see what I'm saying? That will fuck up the whole economy.
Yeah. I see.
Yeah. You're right. You know, you have to run on credits on that point.
Yeah, exactly.
Like Bitcoin that bitch.
Currency.
That one scene when they're actually taking off all their hair, and I was like, you know, they could have asked you to do that yourself.
You may not get the hard to reach spot.
How come we got nothing but the dick and ball scene, and we didn't get the female scene?
That's you, man.
Because it's implied. It's implied.
Oh, well, fuck it, man.
You know? When someone goes to you and says, spread your cheeks and lift your sack, it's all right. It's implied. Well, it's implied that the females have to go through the same thing.
I was wondering if they're going to do a sex scene with him and the Vietnamese girl.
I was kind of upset that I missed out on that, but because of the banter in the theater, I'm kind of glad I did. There's a lot of banter in the theater, took me out of that scene. So I'm pretty glad I missed out on it.
You were licking your lips on that shit.
Yeah, because it looked like she wanted it. You know, she had closed her eyes and was like, "Man, she's getting all turned on by this."
Yep.
I didn't know what that.
I saw that shit, man. I'm like,
I know what the hell that meant. It's like, yo, he's rubbing a nub. I don't know if that's something I'm supposed to get off to. I don't fucking. Anyway, Ray, what do you give this?
Knee. What do I give this? I would give this a high matinee. I actually really enjoyed this movie more than I thought I was gonna.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Besides them being shrunk down, I mean, it's not like the technology is all that much more different if you're shrinking them down than, you know, making them bigger. I mean, Honey, I Shrunk the Kids taught us that.
Yeah, that's bullshit. That movie's bullshit.
And Inner Space.
Excuse me, would you expect me to agree? I don't know what the fuck that is.
You know what Inner Space is? Where they shrink the guy inside the little inside the little machine to go inside the human body to fix the diseases.
I have no idea.
Oh yeah, I've seen that. That was in the 1980s. That was a great movie,
That's
man.
fucking Inner Space, man.
Yeah,
Wow,
yeah.
Antoine, you need to go to YouTube that shit, man.
Oh,
Maybe.
my God.
Wow, bro. Antoine, you lost, bro.
If I have nothing better to do, I
What do you
might
got?
that.
What do you give it, Dan?
I'm gonna give it a high rental, okay?
What?
I'm gonna give it a high rental.
It's Matt Damon for crying out
No,
loud.
it's great. It's a good movie. It's just like throwing you the wrong messages, and I'm sick of this freaking
I think
movies.
you're looking for the wrong messages.
Oh God.
No, I
You
do.
know,
I do.
the problem I have with this movie is that there wasn't any technology to bring people back.
Yeah, that's kind of bullshit.
That
That would have been
two-
the first thing I'd have looked for as soon as I say, "Oh, we have
two-
this technology to shrink people
red
down."
flag, red flag right here. I mean, just out of the signs of it, the red flag was, man, you'll have so much bacterial problems.
Yeah.
You know,
The bacteria
You
is larger
fucking-
than you at this
you will
point. Yeah,
fucking die.
That
bro.
freaking
Yeah.
ringworm
Weeks.
looked like a fucking.
that was nasty.
That was nasty.
That was nasty. I saw that. I was like disgusting, bro. I was like, yeah.
That
you
kid
see?
should have. By the way, that kid should have died.
You could have died of a fucking
Ringworm that size, that kid should have died.
athlete's foot could have killed you right
Yeah,
there, bro.
No, absolutely. That kid should have fucking died. I myself, I will give it a down the road, middle of the road matinee.
Oh, okay.
Because I did not expect to like this. Also, I thought this was a comedy. Also, it tossed me for a loop. Dane, you said it right. It threw me for a loop because Dane, you had it right. You're like, yo, the wife is gonna die. The wife is gonna die. I'm like, what are you talking about? And you said in the trailer we never see the wife after he gets small.
Yeah.
And I didn't think about that. I was like, nah, we saw her. And then after he gets small, his wife's like, yeah, I couldn't go through with it. I was like, what the fuck? And I went and watched the trailer again. I was like, you're right. You never see it's implied that he's talking to the wife, but they never show who he's talking to.
Yeah.
So I was like, yo, that's awesome. That's good. So yes, it turned out to be a lot more thought-provoking than I thought. It wasn't some slapsticky comedy, so it was okay.
What's the rating so far?
What's the
Oh, just matinee.
Matinee,
man.
come on, man.
All right.
Get that
Don't
pipe.
forget to visit that website.
Don't forget to visit our website at g2ta.net and gottatalkaboutit.com. Don't forget the fellas.
We need those clicks.
We need those clicks, so don't mess around.
It's the cure my mother's cancer. We need the clicks.
I like this.